In today's video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how I plant out my peppers. Now, you know they're quite big and they've already got some fruit on them, but I'm going to go through the step-by-step process and also companion planting with some marigolds that are going in there as well. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. As you can see, these have already been planted out. I planted them out yesterday. This is Friday. I did this yesterday on Thursday. So this is Friday the 3rd of June, and these got planted out yesterday, and I have planted 6 of them. I still have a pepper plant and 3 aubergine plants left to plant out. I also need to get my courgette planted out as well. But I did a lot of planting out yesterday and used up most of my compost, so that will have to wait until I can get some more. And it's bank holiday weekend in Scotland, and everybody's outside mowing and flying and making noise, so just ignore all that. You can see in the back where the greenhouse is that the aubergine plants are still doing their hardening off, so they'll be ready to go as soon as I can get some more compost to put them in. I planted a lot of stuff out yesterday, and it was quite refreshing to be able to get everything planted in its final space, and the back garden area is really coming together. It is exactly what I had envisioned when I planned to put all these containers back here. They're only 2 deep, so I will have no trouble reaching through to get to harvest things off of different plants. Both of the peppers, the chili peppers, are in the back, and the bell peppers are in the front. And the other bell pepper that I have to plant out, I'll probably put an aubergine plant in the back and put the pepper plant in front, so all the peppers are in the front. There's still plenty of room to walk up and down the back area where the gravel is, so there's no problem there. Once I get to the point where I'm getting closer to the greenhouse, planting stuff out, because I still have quite a few things that I need to get out, I'll move the garlic around to the north part of the garden. It won't be much longer before I'll be able to harvest the garlic anyway, so it won't do it any harm to get moved. And this is the time of year, quite a bit of sunshine, even as late as 9:30, 10 o'clock this time of year. So I'm not worried about its lack of sunlight when I move it. It's going to be just fine wherever it goes. So that will give me another few feet of space to put more containers. I still have corn to put out. The courgette is going to be around the side, so I don't have to worry about that being in the way. And then obviously the tomatoes. Those are the big things that need to go out. And I've got a few other things that I'm going to be planting. But that's what we're going to be doing in this video, is I'm going to show you the different things that I do when I'm planting things out. And I hope you get something from it. If you do, I'd love for you to share the video, even going around and sharing other videos that I've made that you enjoy, and also liking and subscribing and hitting the notifications button. That always helps me. So I would really appreciate if you do that if you're really enjoying these videos. So let's get going. You'll be wondering what I'm doing today. I'm actually preparing my containers to get planted out. I've got some peppers and some aubergines that need to get planted out today, as well as some flowers that I'm going to put in with them. That's what I'm going to be doing today. What I'm doing is that I'm mixing up the compost that we made in our own compost bin with this, fertilizing it, putting some eggshells in it, and then I'm going to take it around the back and that's when I'm gonna plant it up. Then I'll top it off with some purchased compost and put a flower or two in with them just to help draw in some pollinators. I've got a couple of marigolds that are just about to bloom, so that's going to be absolutely perfect. We do actually have some fruit on our on some of our peppers, well, on all of our peppers and our chilies, and we've got flowers on our aubergines, so they're ready to come out. So I'm going to be doing that today, and this is kind of where I'm set up. So our compost is in these big fabric containers, these 20-gallon ones behind me, and what I've done is I've put about half of our compost in on the bottom. I'll put another quarter, say, probably a little bit more than a quarter of the council compost on top of that, and then I'll move them around the back, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I'm putting a little bit in here, and then I'm going to put some bloodfish and bone in there, and then some of my crushed eggshells. Now I've done a video on crushed eggshells, and I'll put a link up here where to find it, so you'll be able to watch that. It's very, very good to have these eggshells in your garden. I don't use them for slow protection because you need millions of them in order to do any slow protection, but they do add calcium, and it's a slow release calcium. So okay, then I'm going to water this. I'm going to put it in the wheelbarrow and take it around the corner. So. Okay, so I've got pretty much everything I need to get this put into the ground. You'll be able to see this is really tall. It needs to go out. It's probably quite root bound now, but we've got fruit on it. This is one of my Anaheim chilies, and I think this is the one that we harvested our first chili off of the other day. I'll put a picture up somewhere of that. But it's either this one or the other one. I've only got two, so it's got to be one or the other. I had to stake it because when we were hardening it off, it was a bit too lanky. So I'm just going to leave the stake on it. I am going to stake it with a bigger stake just to give it some more strength because it can get a bit windy back here. So I'm gonna give it some more stability. I'm going to take these leaves off down here because I don't want them too close to the soil, because when you're planting stuff like this, you want the leaves to be higher. You want them to be up higher, so when you water it, the soil doesn't splash up onto the leaves, because that can cause disease. So I'll be planting this one just below where it is on the soil, because I think it needs a little bit to be a little bit deeper, but not too much. It's not like a tomato that will just sprout new roots, but it does need to get a little bit more stability in there because it's only that deep. So we'll look underneath it, and yeah, you can see that the roots are starting to try to come out the bottom, so that's not a good sign. It definitely means that it needs to be repotted. So it's going outside today forever. So what we're going to do here before we do that is I'm going to put a little bit of purchased compost in here. And I take my gloves off because I need to be able to feel my fingers. Okay, so started off with a little bit of purchased compost, and what I'm going to do is I'm going gonna figure out about the depth that I want it to go. I want it to go a bit deeper than that, because I'm gonna put some mulch on it as soon as I can get some. So I want that to be quite deep in there. I'm gonna seat that plant pot down just to kind of give it some shape. I'm gonna give it another little sprinkling of bloodfish and bone, just a tiny bit of sprinkling of it. And some eggshells. Now this, you can be quite liberal with the eggshells. You just have to make sure that you're not using all of them on one thing. So this has been pre-watered. So I'm gonna take this out, hopefully, in one swoop. Yeah. It's just gonna come out. Yeah, that's a little bit root bound. I don't like the way that looks, but I'm gonna try to loosen it up a little bit. It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, though, to be fair. I'm gonna set that down in there and try to push that compost up around it. Now the next step, I can't believe he's out here. The next step is to put some more purchased compost around it. This is bank holiday, 1st of June. So it's the first of the long weekend that we're getting, so everybody's doing garden work today. So sorry if that lawnmower or whatever it is making noise. You can't hear what I'm saying. I hope you can. So we're piling some fresh compost around the bottom here. This is one of my 7-gallon ones, by the way, in case you're wondering. And the original idea was to put 2 in here, but there's just not enough room, I think. And I've got plenty of containers, even if they're not all fabric. I've got plenty of containers, so I may have to just settle for putting some of them in plastic pots, just making sure they've got plenty of drainage. Okay, so he's in there really good. And what I'm going to do is firm him in so he makes really good contact with that soil that's down there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put his stake in. So he has one stake, a small, very small, thin stake in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this 4-foot stake right here. Yep, there. Yeah, there. And just drive that all the way to the bottom of the container. Now, that's a bit taller than he needs, but I'm hoping that he'll grow up a little bit more, but that will give him some stability when the winds come. So, I'm going to tie him off. Now, one of the things that I do with tying off, it's really hard to show on this camera. I'll probably do that. What I'll do is I'll tie this one off, and then I'll show you on my mobile. I'll show you my technique. So, that's him. He's in there really good. So I'm just gonna leave him like that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple of marigolds in here. These are marigold lemon gems. And I'm going to put them in here to help with some pollination because there's no grass around this way and there's very few flowers on plants so far. So they need some help for pollination. So I'm going to put a couple of these lemon gems. No, these are not lemon gems, sorry. These are Legion. So I'm going to plant a couple of these, probably 3 of them, with the... Oh, come on, apart. There you go. That was not hard. with the chili, and then I'll plant the rest of them with something else later on, because I'm going to plant all of these today, so they won't, I'm not wasting any of them. There we go. I'll put those down here. And I'm just going to dig a wee hole and get those in. And then I'll water everything in really, really, really well. Okay, so there's the first one, and we'll see how he gets on. Alright, now after I've dug that hole, here's my bell pepper plant. Yeah, just like that. Tiniest bit of, there we go, a little bit of bloodfish and bone, and a few more eggshells. I'm going to put quite a bit more compost around him. So you can see, look at this big pepper. He's got another one here, and I think that's it. I think he's, oh no, he's got a new baby one over here somewhere, yeah. A new one over here. That's a funky looking one too. Okay, so I'm gonna get his stake. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just plant that down right all the way down to the bottom of the container, nice and strong. Now let's see if I can show you my technique. Should be able to. Alright, let's see here. Where are we? Yeah. This should be okay. So you take the string, put it around the back of the plant, and you've got your stake here. So you're going to cross it, and then you're going to cross it behind the stake, but between the stake and the plant. And then you pull it out to tighten it up, and then you get it tied in a knot on this side, on the stake side. So then what you've got, so I don't know if you can actually see that, but what you've got is you've got kind of a double loop. You've got the string that goes around the stalk of the plant, and then it double loops around the stake, and then when you tie it, you're not tying it tight onto the plant, you're tying it tight onto the stake. And here's the stuff that's out here. I've already replanted the rainbow charge again, and they've been back in there and messed about, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. But everything else seems to be okay. That's my spinach, beetroot, kale, more beetroot, but they've got some pals now. That's all the peppers except for one that's planted out. I'd ran out of compost. So they've all got their big 4-foot stakes that are all the way down the bottom of the containers, and they've all got flowers in with them. Some of them have got 4, but I think like the ones that have got 4, I think those are probably not going to do so well. There's a couple of them that have been slugged in the greenhouse. I don't know how that happened, but it did. But some of these are just about ready to flower. So we will see how this turns out. So there's that. I just can't get over how big these are getting. They're almost waist height for me. And I know I'm short, but I mean, I'm not like ridiculously short. These, I'm serious, these are probably about an inch or two away from being waist height for me. We have some flowers that are budding. As soon as they get open, and they've been open for a couple days, I'll pull them off. Nobody else seems to have any flowers just yet, but they will do. It's just not time. I am absolutely flabbergasted at how big they are. Those 24 potatoes caused all of this. It's just mad. And my onions are doing really well over here. They're a good shade plant, so they're not doing too bad at all. We finally have something in these containers. They've been here for ages. I've got cucumber, cucamelon, and sweet peas in that one. And I've got cucumber and sweet peas in that one. So that's all I've got for you this week. And until next time, stay safe, take care. Bye, y'all.